Hello and welcome back to Showtime. As I say, and the last bit of my food comes flying out of my mouth. Hi, how are you doing? In part 1, we did medium tanks and learnt, but really, we just played with them and thought to ourselves, this is how we play, this is not how we play, this is a mistake, this is done well. And we actually scored top in every game. Dare I say, we scored top XP in every game with the medium tanks. If you couldn't tell, I'm a medium tank player. In part 2 we played with heavy tanks and I failed horribly in every single game, basically. So we can see that I suck at heavy tanks. No, I'm just playing badly because I haven't played in a while and I was rushing with Russian guns. So in part 3 has been voted by you guys during the break. We're going to at least try a couple of artilleries. I know, the evil artilleries. Why are we trying to make artillery players better? Because they're OP things, death from above, right? Well, they're actually a lot more difficult than you would first think. So, let's go into game. You can see the 3 artilleries that I currently own. If we click buy, you can see that I actually do have up to tier 6 unlocked in the USA. And I have Germany up to the grill, because I own it in garage. There we go, we've got the grill. In the USA, sorry, the USSR, I've got all the way up to the my game crashes. There you go. Thank you, Wargaming, for such a stable game engine when in the garage. I mean, the garage, right? And I've got all the way up to tier 6 on both the S51 and the other one, SU-14. So I have a lot of experience in artillery, and I did a lot of experience during the beta. I was actually primarily an artillery player during the beta, believe it or not. That's actually what I mostly played. So let's jump in now quickly into let's do the tiers like we did beforehand. So we'll start off with tier 3. No gold shells, that's the gold shell. This is just the more expensive shell with the SU-26. Now, the SU-26 has recently taken a hit, so it's not as good as it was, but it's still a pretty cool artillery unit. Right. With artillery, there's lots of things to know. Positioning is not necessarily everything, but it will also show you the different types of attack you'll get. The distance from the enemy also depends on the gun you've got, how accurate it will be. So even with really good guns that can shoot across the entire map, the closer you are, the more accurate it is, in a way. Some guns fire, if that's the land, some fire like this, some fire like this. And to know which your artillery does is really important. A lot of the low tier ones, like the Bison, shoot really high arcs. Really, really high arcs. So if we have a look at the SU-26 here, you can see that it doesn't even reach across the map. We cannot hit across the map with this thing from the default position. So we need to get closer. And then once we get a bit closer, I will show you a few more things. You see here when you're in this mode, the circle is always round, right? When you're in artillery mode, it's not always round. Different maps are different sizes, Delta. If you're on a smaller map, it feels like you can fire further. Right, you see the circle there? It's oblong. It's not, I should say it's not a circle. It's not a good circle. So that means that the shot is coming high and wide. It's falling down. You see the slope here? It's falling down the slope. So you can actually aim like this, and it'll go whoosh down the hill. The enemy T-57 is right there, so we're going to aim for him for our next shot. And you see the circle is becoming more round. That means the shell is falling upon them a lot more. It's coming from above them rather than hitting them in the face. So the more round it is, like this, the more it's going to come from above rather than from any other position. So here it's round. We expect it to come from above. We don't have to aim for certain parts. We know it's going to aim directly above them. And knowing the angle your shell is going to come in is really important. Like this one here, we're going to try and hit the front of him. That's what I'm trying to do there, trying to hit the front of the tank. Now, the thing I told you earlier about the dropping is really important with artillery. You'll see where you're aiming. Oops. you see where you're aiming and where you hit are two different things. If I aim upon this guy down here, you'll see that the dot there is actually here. Right, so if I aim on him, you see that dot over there? That's actually here. So aiming here and aiming here are the exact same thing, apart from if he disappears now, I'm actually aiming for him. There you go. I'm still aiming for him now. Where if I was aiming on him now, if he disappeared, I would actually miss. So I'm actually aiming for where he should be by aiming slightly behind him. But he's on a hill, so I shouldn't even be hitting him. Sorry, I'm over-focusing because I'm talking to you guys. But basically, that guy's actually a really bad target because I'm on the back of a hill. So I'm going to rotate my turret here and have a look at this Lux and see where he's going. He's going to try and stay arty safe, but you see, look at this drop. This absolute amazing drop. And click. Oh, so close. Right, I'll let the Lux live and I'll go over here to the Lecturer instead. He's a TD. He's a lot slower. Oop, that was not enough leading. At 200, look at the meters. Always look at the meters and know the speed of your shell. Click. 5 HP. Let someone else finish him, shall we? Or should we just wait? He disappears. Let's see if he's still sat there, shall we? Yep. Got him. Right, the Lux. Back to him. He's now fighting RTD. Actually, ignore that. We got some juicy targets over here in the open. Let's assume our TD is going to win this. Right. Again, you see the circular? Because we're now far away. Our artillery, we're in the medium distance where the artillery is perfectly aimed for. So this distance is so a nice circle that it's going to come down upon the enemy. There we go. Where is he going? There. Oh, not enough leading. Too far away. Okay. So at 300 meters, I reckon it's going to be about a 2-second delay. So he's going to be around there. Missed him. Right, I've only got 9 shells left, so I need to be very careful. I've been firing very fluidly. But there we go. Hit to right upon. Remember, open top vehicles take more damage from HE. Oh, we've been spotted. Into cover. I did something there that you normally don't do as artillery. I was sitting still between every shot. That's because I'm just teaching you about aiming in this battle, and I'll teach you about other things in the next one. I don't want to go through too many things. But always wait for full aim, unless you really have just fully aimed around the side and you've got plenty of ammunition, and it's super important you get that shell off. We just tracked... No, we didn't track him. It looked like he stopped. But this angle is really bad for us. You see the way it's going to come in? It's going to slap down past him. We've got to be very careful. Right, I want to save my shots. Has he seen me? We're about to die. Yes, they've seen me. Okay, I'm going to wait for the aim and fire. Got him. Woo! While they're shooting me, they're not shooting our teammates who have more ammo than me. I'm very conscious of the fact I've got very little ammo. So, right, we're out of range for the Hetzers who are guarding their base like bosses. Not. Down the hill we go. Whoops. Somehow we forgot about this Panzer III. Who's behind that little hill? He's behind that hill. And he's behind that hill. Can we actually help the base though? The capture? Nope. Out of range. I know I'm at risk for the enemy for other tanks, but I really want to kill this Hetzer. Oh! We tracked him. 3 HP. I think we just caused the demise of the Hetzer. Get in. You see how long that shell took to get in? I clicked the firepower, but it took forever. Click. Yeah! Take rush shots only if you're being cocky. I didn't expect that to hit. He was at 5 HP. I just tried to kill steal. And it worked. RivetingTV, teach you how to kill steal. Let the Lux kill it. Yep. I wanted to save the ammo there to make sure that we don't lose from something stupid. But there we go. Nice. Awesome. Right, let's see how we did. Whoop. I don't touch it. I don't touch it. You can see how much XP I got. Ready? Yeah, top of the list. Do my dance. Cool. So although I thought I was being pretty useless in that, but I was just clicking around and showing you how to aim. I wasn't really paying attention to the positions of things. It shows you that as long as you know how to aim, you can do a lot of damage. Remember, don't be scared to move forward with artillery. I used to do it a lot and used to get praised all the time back when artillery wasn't really popular. That I would move forward into really unique positions and I would move between shots and the enemy couldn't find me. Even after our base was being captured, I was shooting upon our base going like, how have we not found the artillery yet? The enemy were. And the teammates were like, well done, well done. So I always enjoyed playing artillery for that much. The thing that artillery, the reason I stopped playing artillery, do you want to know why I stopped playing artillery? The reason I don't like artillery anymore. It's too random. The shells are too random. Even if you do everything right, and you're aiming 100% every single time, there are some days that you just fire and miss every single shot. 100% aim, you're point blank with them. You kill someone in a different battlefield. You kill someone in Enks when you're on Sand River. That sort of thing. And I get frustrated with that. When you are playing with medium tanks, you get that a lot less. And you fire so often that it doesn't really matter if you do. So that's the reason I personally do not play artillery anymore, if you wondered why. So let's go with a 70% grill. Oh yeah, my crew was only 80% by the way for the Su-26. It was only 80%. So we are the only artillery on a mostly heavy tank battlefield. Ah yeah. So, right, where do we go? We're going to have so many targets, but at the same rate, we should be scared of nothing. Cool. Oh, yeah. Right, we're only at 80%, so we're not going to be hitting things as easily as we could, but we're going to do something incredibly risky. We're going to get the high ground. So we're going to just go back and reverse onto the bit there. And we're going to go onto the tracks and just stay in the plain open vision and you shoot the shit out of things. And pure and simply, they've got no fast tanks. And we should be able to read the map and reposition before anything comes to us. So let's do that now. Right. There we go. So we're now on here. We've got the maximum range that we need. We can go all the way across the map. I think this corner is the only place we can from here. When you go on higher terrain, you get more range. And obviously with more range, you're more accurate. But look at the grill. When it's so close, look at the shape of the aim. Not only that it's terribly, terribly big, but look at the shape of the aim. The further you go, the further you go, the further you... Oh, wow. So it's like this distance for the grill to be coming down on things. So it's a very angled shot. It's actually very well known to be an angled shot. It also has a very thin arc. So when I want to aim for something like that, I go the furthest point I want to and then come back with X pressed. X prevents your hole from turning and ruining your aim. So I've now got the maximum arc I could possibly have for shooting this Churchill if someone lights it up again. However, our med has decided to take there and nothing else. Okay, so I'm reading the map now and going, okay, this is pointless. Let's move. Because if I stay here and the enemy tanks pop up here, I'm dead. So I'm going to move. We've got really, really weird formation for a public game. This is really good formation, actually, for general play. If you've ever watched us play team company battles, this is how I would have my team. Apart from I would send a scout over to the far east. So I'm going to reposition myself over here. Look at Churchill like a boss. He's like a turret on top of there now. And there we go. I was right to move. I would have been spotted if I hadn't repositioned. And again, I go a bit too far so that I have a little bit of aim. And look at that Panzer II. He's going to be spotted and taken out. I'm not going to aim for him because our teammates are aiming at him. Instead, I'm going to aim for the Churchill. I'm going for the Churchill because he is not expecting to be attacked because he's behind the front man, who should be dead by now, for God's sake. There he goes. Firing. Ah, yeah. Sweet chin music. Okay, reposition and aim over into this corner. And you can see, because we're so high, the people who think they're arty safe are actually not. Not even close. And is he going to come around this way? He is. Fire. That probably tracked him. Our teammates are pushing into these guys. And no, it missed him. I was close, though. I want to see what they do. They're going to fall back or they're going to hold this position. Our teammates on the far right are actually holding their position too. Firing. No, he's progressing. Damn, that would have hit him too. There's no point me firing in this position. I'm doing a lot of mistakes here. As artillery, you want to be waiting. You want to wait for them to actually come out of cover. So you need to have a lot of patience to play artillery properly. Something I don't have. I'm a med driver, for God's sake. So look, if I was ready, I would be watching all these guys. I would probably reposition again. See if this Churchill goes forward. He doesn't. He goes back. So I'm going to ignore this and go over to their base here. We know that the enemies are camping in their base, so let's watch this area. This is going to be lost in a second. There's nothing we can do. So let's predict what's going to happen and be ahead of the curve. Be ahead of what happens. So we know that corner's won. Let's wait. And this is why I say you have to have a lot of patience to be artillery. You cannot just be randomly looking around. Right click stops your aim from moving, by the way, so you can have a look what's there. It's a Churchill one that is sort of in cover, but these guys who we were aiming at are not in cover. But they are just slightly out of our range. Let's see if we can do a quick shot. What the What the What the What the Okay. Anyway, ignoring the complete and utter balls up miss, the enemy artillery's over there. You don't need to go for the enemy artillery when you are artillery. You have heavy tanks to kill. Brrr! Right. Let's keep firing. This is why I hate artillery. Remember, my crew are only 80%. We got maximum aim with this guy. We're just going to keep firing until we hit him. He's in the open. He's not doing any cover at all. We're just going to keep firing until he gets hit. There you go. Come on. Come on. Patience. And someone else kills him. What a surprise. We've only lost 3 tanks, by the way. And one of them was the stupid Sturmpanzer 2, who didn't reposition after seeing the enemy could easily come down the flank. I say stupid. The foolish. The foolish. Stupid is a bad word to use. The guy might not know. He might be new. He is only tier 3 after all. Click. Oh, yeah. But then when you get them shots that actually hit, you feel so good. And we have a Churchill 7 deciding that the open, with no bushes or rocks around him, is the best place to be. Well, Churchill 7. No, it's not. You saw that the shot hit his side. Again, look at the angle. Look at the way that the circle is. It's coming in from the side. You've got a much higher chance of hitting the side than you do hitting the top because it's not a circle. It's burning to death. Ignore it. Move on to the next target. Oh no, he stopped. Why did you stop? Why did you stop? Aim for the Churchill 1. Aim for the Churchill 1. Aim for the Churchill 1. Now this is more of a circle, so I expect it to come down upon him. So I'm going to aim right at his back and hope for the kill. But it didn't hit there. Nowhere near where I aimed, but there you go. It's fine. Look at the big circle. Last thing left is a grill. I could race towards the cap circle to try and get a better aim, but we know where that grill is, don't we, guys? Yes, we do. He's over in this corner somewhere. Yep, he's running towards. He's all the way over here. That's really good of the grill. He's actually done really well, but he's down. Right. Let's have a look at the XP gain from the grill. I don't expect it to be huge. It is artillery after all. Yeah, not too bad. 1,204 damage dealt. That'll do. That'll do, donkey. 80%, sorry, I said 80% crew? Ha! It was 70% crew, because they're now 74%. So, at 74%, they are, they've just had a good battle. So, yeah. People were wondering about counter-artillery, how to follow tracers. I'll show that in the next battle. Hopefully there's lots of artillery there, and I can show you how to do that. Although the Russian artillery are famed for having very low range. There's only one Hummel, but we'll do it anyway. Why not? Let's do it anyway. Look at this big thing. Urgh, girth on that gun. Look at my cannon. Ugh. Sorry, what are we talking about? Oh yes, counter-artillery. You look at your friendly tanks, and when you see enemy artillery traces coming down, you then just try and follow it back to a reasonable place. And then you look at the sort of positions around where the tracer came from and predict and do what I call a game of guess a bush or pick a bush. So over here, you have most artillery players will be looking to hide behind a bush or in the bushes here. So the first thing you can do right at the beginning of the game, if you're planning to counter artillery, is just look for any terrain that's going to get destroyed. Just look around. If they drive over any of this terrain, the artillery is there. So you can spend the first 30 seconds looking to see if the artillery decides to go into this area here. This is where the zoom out mod is sworn by artillery players, because you can check both these positions at once with the zoom out mod. The answer is, doesn't seem like it. He hasn't. So there's a good chance then he is over here, because he's either doing what I'm doing and sitting still in the open, or he is over this direction. So let's have a look. Again, look around for traces, and look for the sound as well. Listen, look for the sound. Listen for the sound. Listen for the sound of artillery. Shh. In fact, you can actually get more than that up. If I remember rightly, you can even get the... With certain mods, you can get the aimer up and stuff like that too. I don't think I've got them installed. No, I don't. But let's stop trying to counter artillery for a minute, or not. Shall we keep going or not? See, counter-artillery is a waste of time a lot of the time. The enemy are managing to move their tanks around freely while you're looking for the artillery. And that means you're being useless. Okay, now I'm reloading. While I'm reloading, why not let's have a look at the to see if we can spot artillery. In fact, the best place to do it is by looking at your tanks. Because if one of your tanks get hit by artillery, then you know where he's shooting. Okay, he's not, so let's aim for the IS-2 instead. Now, there's a good chance that the enemy artillery is actually trying to counter artillery too. I've seen that before. Neither artillery fires a shot the entire game because both of them are trying to counter each other, which is freaking hilarious. Damn it. That was a rush shot. Shouldn't have done that. I decided I want to go for a side shot against the Type 59. But let's ignore the counter-artillery for a bit, unless we actually naturally see it, because we're just wasting time. We're going to lose the game and be not the cause of the loss, but definitely a cause of the not winning. Hit the back of the Type 59. We're at the back of the map, so we better move. Never be scared to reposition. So because I'm at the back, there's no point me going to the 0 column because the enemies are here. And there he was. I was right. I knew he was out here somewhere. He was all the way over here. I knew he was this way. Well, there you go. I still have it in me to know where artillery go. And yes, go boom. Oh, it misses. Come on. Jiminy Cricket. IS-3's got to kill this guy now. Right, never take this shot. If you see your tank there and there's an enemy there, even if you're reloaded, never take that shot. You will do so much more harm to the team hitting your friendly tank than you would do dealing with damage to the enemy tank. Right, so again, move ahead of them, then move back. Otherwise, you're going to constantly move your aim. And you can see that he's facing his rear there. So instead, go. Overshot him. Well, we missed this battle. We, in fact, did nothing. We did nothing. Our teammates won it. GG. So, again, counter-artillery is only useful if A, there's lots of artillery, and B, there's nothing better to do, or you just happen to fall upon them. I don't think or ever recommend you actually doing anything. Let's have a look at me countering artillery. I got that much experience. When I wasn't playing, I got that much experience trying to find. Their Hummel, in the meantime, managed to do 399 damage. That's it. He was useless. So he was probably looking for me too. So all that did was end up getting you no experience for absolutely no reason. Yeah, so don't do it. Just be useful to your team. Move, and actually I will give you a tip. When you fire, move forward, not backwards. Because if you move forward, you go at full speed. Reversing is often at like 20% your speed. So if you reverse, you fire artillery in reverse, you're still going to be very vulnerable to enemy counter-artillery. If you go forward and turn slightly, you're at max speed and you can just get out of the way. So that's a lot better than reversing. So if you're afraid of being counter-artilleried, just do that. It's very hard for them to do it to you. So you're making them shoot you, doing nothing because you're dodging it, and you're still hitting their tanks. I don't recommend counter-artillery, like ever, unless you're an M7 priest and the enemy artillery is all tier 6 or something like that. Cool. Yeah. Right. So as a bonus, let's go out in my AMX 1375, shall we? As the final battle of the evening before I take some questions from you guys. One light tank game after playing all 3 artilleries. Alrighty. So we are definitely in the passive scout capability right now. If you look at the listings, we're not really going to do that much damage unless we're really given it. So what we should do go for instead is a more passive spotting role. So we could try, I don't think I've got the upgraded engine for this thing yet. So we could try for some early swamp terrain here. How many meters should you aim behind a tracer if you're firing a artillery against counter-artillery? Depends. If they are moving forward, you want to shoot in front of the tracer. If they are sitting still, then you sit just... you know how big your gun is? That far behind the tracer. It starts at the tracer, you see. Yeah, that's basically it, really. Do not sit in the bush. Don't even sit near the bush. Sit behind the bush. The bush is to block line of sight, like this. Look. The only reason you would sit in the bush is so you can see out of the bush as well. So always stand behind the bush if you don't need to see through the bush. And even then, you've got 15 meters. Look. Ready? That bush just went solid, yeah? Can't see through it anymore. That means that bush is now blocking my sight as well as the enemy's. So you want to be this bit, hold your right button down and look at your tank. If you're completely covered, not a single bit of you is revealed, then you are hidden. If you can see even slightly this much of you, let's say that was my front, you are revealed. And the enemy will see you as if you had no camo whatsoever. Like bush camo. The other thing to note is that the light tank never loses its camo value. If I do this, I lose my camo net, but that's all I lose. I don't lose anything else. I can actually move like this, and I actually am no more revealed than I am at any other time when driving around. Now, he couldn't see me. I was behind the bush. Now, don't be tempted when passive scouting to shoot. If you shoot as a passive scout, unless it's really important you take that shot, you're doing better being a scout. It's all about biding your time, waiting. Around halfway through the battle, when most things are mostly dead, then it's your time to shine as an AMX. So just be patient. It's not easy being an AMX driver. Look at that AMX 12 ton. Getting impatient, dying. There's another 75 there doing the same thing I am. Look at that. Almost an entire parallel on his side of the map. Isn't that funny? But he's been spotted and is getting hit. He might have fired. I don't know. The reason I move closer to it is to have extra few meters. Someone asked in the chat, which is a very good question, why have I moved closer when it moved transparent at this distance? So at this distance it's transparent, why go to here? Well, I gain that much extra distance in spotting range. That's simple as that. I'm not a combat scout. If I was being a combat scout, then yeah, you're right. Don't go any closer. Stay where it's just slightly transparent. But I'm not. I'm trying to stay hidden and with maximum view range. So this is best. Oh, perfect. Right. Our time to shine, guys. Ah, it was too late. Too busy showing you the mechanics. And there's a guy we could have taken out easily. Right. Their 12 ton is dead, so there's a good chance we can move forward now. We haven't lost a single guy because our team has been slow but steady. Yak Tiger up there. Just killed a Yak Tiger. Oh yeah. Might as well reload. Oh look, they really didn't like me. But they expect me to go up here, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to come back down. Here we go. Now, I don't expect to survive this, by the way. At this point in the game, I've just decided we've won. So I'm being a bit cocky and just driving forward. Shut your face, SU. Really? No! Get the tiger. Come on, get back to flat ground. Oh, 4 HP! Come on! Oh, you're joking. Don't let someone kill it. Yes. Got it. And the last guy's over there. There's no point us trying to engage there, so we'll just go for the cap instead. JJ. Nice. So, learning with the artillery, the French light tanks, when to come in is so good. Look at this. 2,230 damage point detection and 416 damage means I'm 4th on the list, and I was tier 7, but the top guy was the T50 with being a badass, clearly. Although he didn't get any damage point detected, his damage of 1,240 obviously was against something good. So the T50 was actually obviously skirmishing very well over on the other side, doing what I should have been doing when I was teaching you about bushes. But yeah, with the AMXs, the most important thing to know is when to come into the battle, when to transition from bush work to offensive work. And I think I could have moved to being offensive a lot sooner than I did. I was too busy showing you guys how bushes work to actually progress. So we'll wrap up playing and I'll take questions. So by all means, guys, throw in any questions you want into the pot and I will stir them and answer them. Go for it. The AMX 75's maneuverability, I really don't know. I've still not got the upgraded engines for it, so I don't know. Spyball, clearly. Leather pants. At the last party. Hey? Best equipment used on the AMX 75 and 90. Now, that is a question. I use binoculars and camera net because at the moment I primarily use them as vents, camera nets, and binoculars, because I primarily use them as a passive scout, and the rest of it just comes with me skirmishing, and at skirmish range you don't really need anything else. So I go for vents, camo, and binoculars, but I'm a passive scout up until the midpoint of the battle and then become aggressives. If you're being more of an aggressive player, then go for the aimer, go for coated optics instead of the camo net and the binoculars, but keep the vents, in my opinion. Cool. How do you get replays of World of Tanks? Well, you go into your menu, you press, in fact, I will show you. You go in your menus, go to settings, and there's a tick box you tick. And do you know what? I will absolutely show you. I will, in fact, show you my desktop. Hello! And you'll see me log into World of Tanks, and I will show you from start to finish, because so many people ask me this, and I want you guys to be sending me your replays. Because for all you who are new, new password. For all of you who are new, I accept replays to RivetingTV@gmail.com, and on some days I will analyze them for you. So you can send in an email saying, hey, I can't see why I lost. Can you explain to me why? And if your replay is interesting enough, I will use it on a show and explain to you exactly what you did wrong. So in here we go to menu, desktop. You go to menu, you go settings, you go down here to enable battle recording, and you click OK. Then you exit the game, or play a battle, and you go to wherever your World of Tanks is. You right click properties, open file location, open this will happen, if that's English, and click on replays, and here are all your replays. Or if you know exactly where it's installed, just go to there. Cool. Would you say a KV-1S is worth keeping? Yes, it's one of the best tier 6s, and it plays very uniquely for the tier. I wouldn't say it's OP, but it's definitely very strong if you play it right. If you're not getting on with it, I would have bought playing the entire of the heavy tree for the Russians. Seriously, don't play any of the Russians. Go to the Americans or something. You're not going to enjoy it. If you don't enjoy the KV-1S, you're not going to enjoy any of the rest of them. You can still send a 8.3 version replay. Yes, you can. I've got all the old versions, so you can send them in, no problem at all. Okay, one more question and I'll call it a night. Anybody? No? Oh, here we go. Serious question. In your opinion, the reason for the second gun in the Jagdpanzer 30 is most expensive shell and low penetration. I abstain. I'll look into it for you. I believe it's just purely that it's about damage. But honestly, the last person I talked to said he rage quit the line itself, and I didn't go up that far myself. I went up to tier 6 before I realised I didn't really get on with TDs. So, yeah. I haven't got any of the British TDs, but I have used them. And you play the IS-8. The IS-8 is a med. Play the IS-8 like a med and play the IS-3 like a heavies. So that's really the difference there. But anyway, I'm going to close off questions. If you've got any more questions, come back next week and I will answer them for you there. Tomorrow we have the challenge time. Showtime where we actually going to show off the challenge of people rotating their turrets before firing every shot. On Wednesday, we should have Water Tanks Tips live, but he is ill at the moment. He might not be well enough. We will find out. I'll let you know. In the meantime, follow us on Twitter/DorjanR or RivetingTV, Facebook/RivetingTV, or on YouTube, do a search for Riveting TV Archive or /The Riveting TV Archive. Anyway, I've been Dorjan, this is Riveting TV, and I'll see you next time.